Technology updates and drivers are necessary for the functionality of our daily lives here in the 21st century. Today is the first episode of the Cindev podcast with your host Adam and AJ. Today the topic is on new drivers, new technology, and updated software. So upload your attention now here on the Cindev podcast.
Welcome to the Cintegration Development inaugural podcast. And this is one of your hosts, AJ.
And this is Adam.
And what we'd like to do over the next year is we're going to go over some of the drivers and some of the technology that we're blessed with getting to integrate and program. So
definitely, and we've came up with quite a few updates over the last year, as well as new drivers, both paid by manufacturers and some of the stuff that we just came up with.
Yeah, and we kind of felt that our audience, our dealers, couldn't really see what we were doing. It was difficult to we've been pushing out emails, and so this is kind of a new flavor.
Stuck in the office, so don't see the light of day. But at least our drivers do so.
Right. So with that, we'd like to just kind of go over some of the new drivers that we've released over the past couple months, and then we're going to talk about some of the driver updates.
Cool.
So I think with that, I'm going to start. So some of the bigger drivers that we made last year were, I made a Vertilux driver, the Vertilux VTI. They have a new shade out that has a lithium battery inside the shade, and the driver allows you from Control4 to open and close the shade. It has set points, so you can go to 30% on the shade. It is also bi-directional. So that was kind of a fun driver to make. It's available to anybody. It's a free of charge. Vertilux contracted us to make that driver, and it is available on Driver Central. So
awesome.
The second driver we made last year was the KMTronic IP Relay driver. That is I believe it's an Italian company. That is KMtronics.
I think we were talking with somebody in Budapest.
So it might be. It was a European. We'll leave it at that.
Bulgarian, something out there.
So, but that driver is a relay control driver. So if you have jobs that need a whole bunch of relays, if you have a lot of shade jobs need multiple relays, that kind of thing, or if you're doing some big access control thing, that's what the KMtronic relay driver basically controls. It's huge relay boards, basically.
And just a quick shout out to our brand new developer, Christopher, who this was his first driver.
It was his first driver, and he was really happy to make it. He was a little scared initially, but it's been a good driver. No help desk tickets on it.
Nope.
So
got quite a few sales. Thankfully, this driver replaced Kiwi Farms' old driver. They stopped supporting it and selling it, so we needed something to replace it, and both us and another developer stepped in to fill that space, and thankfully, Chris got it out pretty quickly out the door, so our dealers did not have to wait too long for it.
Yeah, both drivers for KMtronics are available on Driver Central, so the dealers can download each, check out which one they like, and go from there. But we like everybody to have different options. So another driver, one of my favorites that I think we made was Christie Projectors. So Christie is a high-end video projection company. Most of the dealers are going to know who Christie is. And Chris, also our newest developer, he wrote that driver, which was interesting because he doesn't really know audio video, so we got to teach him. He does now. We had to teach him what HDMI was, what component video was.
He's also never seen a projector like that, just a tank in a room.
He has never seen a projector like that. That was pretty shocking.
I bet you our electrical bill went up, but our heating bill probably went down.
Oh, it was I did not have to turn on the heat at all. My room stayed a cozy 90 degrees.
Yep.
While we were making that driver. So those are some of the bigger drivers that I've written, or that I was going to talk about. So
we also released a couple new agents. Earlier in the year, we released the code agent, and that basically just allows you to have little added security to some of the actions that your Control4 Home allows. So it's basically a pin code. Instead of you clicking a button and just having something happen on the screen, if you need to protect it, or maybe if you need to like shut down Wi-Fi from your kids, the code agents allows you to do that.
It allows you to type a 4 to 8 digit code, I think. 4 to 8 digit code on a Control4 interface, whether it's a touchscreen, whether it's the actual Control4 app. You can type that in, and then the dealer can do user action. So,
Correct.
like what I use it for is to turn on and off my kids' Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and there's quite a bit of functionality in it, so we made some additional documentation when it comes to the driver. So go to drivercentral.io, check out the code agent, and check out especially the documentation section. It has a bunch of white papers that help you set up the driver.
Yeah, it's a fun driver. We've got a few houses where we're using it. We're using it in some Airbnb locations where the homeowner can type a certain code in, and it actually disables the fireplace control.
Yep.
And so he really liked that because he found that his Airbnb guests were leaving his fireplace on all the time, and so this basically allowed him to disable that control remotely. So that was where the code agent came in.
And the next one, we released just a small driver, game console icons, just something extra for the user interface. Some really pretty icons for, what is it, 48, I think?
Yeah, every single one of them. And
there's some weird ones.
We went deep in the archives.
So if you can't find this, let us know, and we'll add another one, but doubtful.
Yeah, and we also found others too, like a VR simulator.
Yeah.
We have an icon for a racing, like a high-end racing.
Just a PC icon.
A PC icon, and then we also have multiple variations of PlayStation and Xbox icons in there as well. So, if
you're like 40 other ones.
There's a few. I mean, it was pretty cool. It was a fun little driver. We wanted to give a little snazzy with the UI experience with Control4. So
yeah, and of course both of these agents are part of the our award-winning agent bundle. So feel free to either check them out individually, or if you want to save a little bit of money, purchase them as part of the agent bundle.
Yeah, you can buy all of our agents are available singularly. You can buy them each for your projects, or you can buy the agent bundle, and then you get all. I believe we're at 11 agents. I think is what's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we're over 10.
Yeah, we're adding them all the time. So, and I don't think we've changed the price yet. So,
nope. Right now it's still the same. So
we suggest get on that if you're planning on getting a little bit of a discount.
Yeah, and the agents really are. If you are a dealer listening and you're interested in the agent bundle, those agents were made for us to improve the overall user experience of Control4. So check them out.
Fill the holes of what we found in Control4 was missing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you could do a lot of the stuff we do in the agents by hand. However, a lot of people know that we're also a medium-sized Control4 integration company, and so for streamlining our deliverables to our customers, that's really what the agent bundle offered us, and so it's a staple in every single one of our jobs. And so then the other drivers that we also came out with last year, we came out with a whole bunch of lighting drivers, Proluxe Pixel DMX. So this is a addressable LED tape light style driver that a LED addressable light that you basically trigger scenes inside of Control4. So you can do fading and I'm sorry, not fading, like chasing and basically it just enhances the DMX environment.
Yeah, and on all of these drivers, including the Proluxe Pixel, we really utilize Control4's lighting extras page to not only take advantage of everything that the light natively brings in, but we also wrote some custom code in there to get a little bit of extra control on these drivers. And we did this also on the JellyFish Lighting driver. The JellyFish is a very popular product. We worked very closely with them. You can find the driver for free on our site. I believe Proluxe Pixel was a paid driver, right?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wrote the American Lighting DMX driver, which is free, and that controls standard DMX tape light. However, using the Pixel light, that takes a little bit more work. You work a little bit more hands-on with American Lighting, and our driver basically facilitates all the scene triggers that American Lighting builds for you.
Yep. And so going back to JellyFish Lighting, this free driver also has a lot of lighting extras utilizing JellyFish's API. It allows you to select, I believe they're called patterns, right? Or effects? Something
Patterns.
Like patterns.
I think they're patterns on JellyFish.
And there's a bunch of channels that you can set up, so you don't have to have a pattern go across all of the lights. You can have portions of the lights going into those kind of patterns. A lot of this stuff has to be set up on the native app, but once everything's set up in the native app, you get all of the control through Control4 using the JellyFish Lighting driver.
Yeah, we really spent a bit of time building a nice framework for Control4's lighting UI. That lighting extras feature in Control4 really came in clutch there at the end. And
yeah, I think initially we used it last year or the year before on Nanoleaf. And, since then, the extras page has evolved both on Control4 side, and we utilized it to make ours a little bit better.
And the last driver that we wrote, a new driver, is for Twinkly Lights. And this is a holiday type lighting system. They do Christmas trees, LED tape light, string lights is what they're called, and it's similar. They do patterns, so we use the lighting extras from Control4. That driver, you can choose color, you can brightness control and color control and preset or a pattern selection are all available on that driver. We at Cindev, we spend a lot of time making sure that our drivers are just as good as they can possibly be, and we really take all the feedback, all the help desk tickets, anything a dealer asks us. We really try hard to stuff all of those features into the drivers.
Yeah, we really appreciate the Driver Central staff always letting us know any kind of requests that are coming in for the drivers or any little fixes or adjustments that need to get done.
We always go back and improve our drivers, things that people ask us to do. It might take us a couple months to get to it, but we always end up usually adding in those features. So the Paradox security driver, drum roll, it now has multilingual support. The previous driver, a couple of years ago that I wrote, had a multilingual support. This is now a full-fledged French and Polish version.
Yeah, at least the things that we could adjust. There's certain things in Control4 that you can't change at all, but yeah, I think it works pretty well for multilingual. Yeah,
the driver is as much as we could realistically. We converted all the text, all the verbiage that the customer sees. It's important. The internal workings of the driver is English, always. And so from a debugging standpoint, from that kind of standpoint, it's all in English. But the customer facing stuff is right now we have Polish and French. If you guys want more languages, we actually have an API that we can give you, and you can give us the translations. Or if we get enough requests for a different language, we can work that in and build those in. So some of the other things that I also did with the Paradox driver is it works a lot better with multi-partition solutions. So when you have 8 partitions in a house, there's just a lot of RS-232 data that comes back and forth, and some of the timers, some of the ways, if one partition is arming and then you disarm another partition, the older driver sometimes would get out of sync for about a minute. So I think dealers will be pretty happy with that update. It's really robust.
Awesome. We've also made updates to the DoorBird driver. That's like one of our most sold original type drivers, right? But it constantly keeps evolving. The main thing that we added, DoorBird started coming out with these new models right here. They have Fingerprint. So any model that ends in, this one's D1101F, so it ends in an F.
Has the letter F.
Has the letter F in it. That's true, because some keypad ones, there's a few other ones. So as long as it has the letter F in it, it has a fingerprint on it. So a lot of, this is basically the newest thing to come out of DoorBird. And we added the Control4 integration to it.
the name of the fingerprint comes in, and it's a conditional programming logic. So you can say, if this fingerprint or this person's finger comes in, do this conditional action, that kind of stuff. I mean, I was thinking about in my house, I could do, like my index finger does one thing, but my middle finger does like a totally different scenario, right? Like I do it, and maybe all my lights go pink, and we have like a Barbie scene, or something like that.
I haven't thought about that, but that definitely creates almost like a keypad type functionality. Right. And I guess on a side note for that, Code Agent can also do the same.
It can.
So if you want to use the DoorBird, if you have one at the house to create cool scenes, you can do that, or you can use the Code Agent. So, and of course, in regards to the fingerprint, we also added 2 composed variables, which is the last fingerprint ID and the last RFID ID.
So you can be as granular with the conditional logic that you need to do for your project. So
we added or improved support for the RFID tags.
Yeah,
key fobs that come with the DoorBird.
Yeah, it's a lot more. The Control4 has more conditional logic that's attached to it. The response timing is the same. None of that changed, but more of how the dealers could interact with it. So we gave it a much better conditional programming. Before you had to click on the variable and then you had to be very explicit. Now there's a dynamic conditional that drops down and it gives you a list of all the users.
Nice. So, and last but not least, for the DoorBird, we added support for the A1121 keypad unit. All right, so it's this nice little keypad unit. What's a lot different with it? It does not have a doorbell.
Yeah, it's DoorBird's I guess start into the non-doorbell space, right? This is more
access code.
This is it's an all local PoE or Wi-Fi access keypad access. So kind of like the Code Agent, actually. It's
kind of like the Code Agent.
We have a
versus a software right here.
Yeah, so we have a job specifically that we're putting one of those in where it's an Airbnb house and the customer has August door locks. So August door locks don't have a keypad on them, right? And so what we can do, and so right now he's giving all the Airbnb guests his LiftMaster keypad code, because there's the LiftMaster keypad right outside the garage door. So this allows him to lock down, and he can give the Airbnb guests a code on this guy, and they can open it, and it will open the August lock. So it's kind of a way to keep you in the smart home feel, and add some security, and it's European style.
And I guess going back to like original drivers, right? We've also made a lot of updates to the Tecmar 482 gateway.
Yeah, that driver is we improved some of the preset scheduling. So this is the ability to create a preset for comfort, home, away. What do you want the temperature to be in your house? The way the Control4 HVAC UI experiences, you create a preset of all the settings that you want your house to be in, and then you trigger the preset at a certain time of day, and so that's the schedule. And so now I guess the driver worked before, but now it just works better with scheduling. So you can your customer can go to the thermostat page on your Control4. Go to the scheduling page, say I want the house to be 70 degrees at 7 a.m. or something like that, and it all works well.
Updated our battery agent. So part of our agent bundle, just making a little bit of upgrades, added some support for a couple locks, the Baldwin Zigbee V2 lock, the Yale driver that we put together underneath August flag, as well as the Brisson, what was the Ultion,
Ultion,
Brisson Ultion, and the Elk M1. So quite a few locks. We also added support for the Halo remote and the Shelly flood devices.
Yeah, so all of the battery levels and states of those devices, if they're integrated in your Control4, the battery agent will suck those in and give your customer alerts of when they're low.
And in case you haven't used the battery agent before, this is one of those drivers that gives you a cool little interface summarizing all of the battery levels in your house, which was not before available through Control4.
Yeah, and it's really, really nice, especially if you have a large smart home system with a lot of battery devices. This is a way from a 10,000 foot view basically to see the state of all of your battery devices in your house.
Yep, and all of our notifications can go either to the dealer or the customer. So especially for something like a battery agent, this would be good for continuous type of support to your clients.
Big drivers we also updated this year was the American Lighting DMX driver. The driver, when we released it, had a preset driver. So this is a way for dealers to easily create randomization, right? So let's say you wanted all the lights in your house to, flat, rotate or randomize between, a couple colors, something like that. The driver was working fine. The problem is that if the customer went in and let's say the randomization is running and it's doing its thing, all the lights are moving, changing colors in your house. If you were to go into the lightings page and turn off the light, the preset driver would just change it again automatically, and so that was a little bit confusing, a little bit clunky for the users. Because but I turned the light off, and then a couple seconds later the light comes right back on, and it's because the driver you had to click it to turn it on randomization, and then you clicked it to turn off randomization. The driver now tracks the lighting commands and all the lighting states of all the lights that are connected to it, and if the user adjusts the brightness of one of those lights, it basically just stops the movement of the preset. So randomization happens, customer walks up to their phone, they turn off the lights, it's going to stop randomizing.
And in case anyone's interested in randomizing not just the DMX American Lighting lights, but any lighting driver in Control4, we have the light agent.
Oh yeah,
that thing's pretty cool. I mean, I use it with my nano leaf lights at home a ton. But it allows for randomization, also like patterns, with something that's just not available natively to the Control4.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it.
You can,
I guess.
but there's
and
a
we
lot
say that
of
like
programming,
jokingly, and it's again, but what we were kind of talking about earlier is that our agents are built from years of us actually doing this stuff for our customers. And what I realize is, I can make all these really cool lighting scenes, but then I'm at the job site all week, and that's just a waste of time and effort. It's a huge amount of money to the customer, and so the light agent and the agents more as a whole really kind of like speed up that programming.
Yeah, we promised that the price of the driver is definitely way more than worth price of the employee spending time on it. So 100%, and it's repeatable and replicatable across multiple projects, and that was a big thing we found as our business has scaled over time, is that you've got 400 customers, and if every one of them has a completely unique experience, how do you service that? And so the agents kind of allow us to kind of, what's the word we use? Cookie cutter custom, I believe is the term we use. So awesome. Moving on to the Sense driver. We had some issues with refresh tokens. Unfortunately, the Sense did not notify us at the time that they implemented the refresh token, which broke a few drivers. But as soon as we found out, we contacted Sense, fixed the issue. And now our Sense energy monitoring is working again. So,
and if you guys haven't tried out, Sense is from an energy management point of view, it's pretty cool. The UX that Adam made for Sense, it's pretty dang cool. Like I've been told that there's nothing like that on Control4. There is nothing like that. That is 100% true. I have not seen another driver that can give you real-time solar data feedback back on a Control4 touchscreen or inside of the Control4 app.
And I mean, Sense is even cooler than that. I love their machine learning. They literally detect what devices are on, how much power they're using, just based on their machine learning algorithms.
The last big driver that we worked on, big driver, we really upgraded the Unify Protect solution, the Unify Protect drivers this year. Some of the big stuff I added was driver add driver. So that's a feature that Control4 allows, where you can once the project has the drivers, at least one of the drivers in the job, it can just automatically add all the cameras in. I also added in the chime. So Unify has a little Bluetooth speaker. It's called the chime, and it links to a doorbell, so that when you ring it, the chime rings. So now in Control4, you have that as programmable options. So you can actually trigger that thing on your own. So if you're not using a unified doorbell, maybe you're using the I think it's actually called a chime from Control4, and let's say you're using that, but you need to add like a little ding dong type speaker in the house. You can use a unified chime, and you can say when doorbell is pushed, chime the speaker. So part of the Control4 3.332 update was the ability of doing dynamic camera capabilities. So now the driver reads what the camera can do and then exposes or hides the actions that the customer can have. Yeah, and it really thinned the installation procedure, because instead of the dealer having to, okay, is this a pan tilt zoom camera, or is this a fixed field camera? They don't have to worry about which driver. It's just one driver, and they add it in, and you're off to the races. We also added in the ability for dynamic presets, which if you're on the Control4 UI on the camera proxy, there's kind of this like blank area on the bottom of the screen, and that area can now have buttons that are dealer configurable, and those buttons can do things like turn on actions, or to open gates, open garage doors, things like that.
Is the region clicking still around?
No. So that's important to know, is that part of this update that Control4 did when they went to the new layout for the new cameras is they basically severed the ability of doing region clicking, which is this, in the past our drivers had these quadrants, so you could click the top left, the top right, lower left, lower right, and that would then allow you to do these actions. Now those have been moved into buttons. So now they are discrete visible buttons, so they're not hidden behind the video, but they're now actual buttons. But it is important to know
pros and cons, right?
The other feature is we exposed a settings button on the camera. Currently, it'll show you some statistical information of the camera inside of the Control4 app, so you can see like the last time motion, person detection, ring detection. Gives you little timestamps there. In the future, any settings that we want to expose to the camera, I've been kind of kicking around the idea of allowing or exposing the ability of enabling and disabling the LED on the camera. That was kind of a feature, or maybe even disabling the video. So that was something else we had thought about. I actually think if you're going to disable video, it should probably be behind something like the code agent, so that somebody isn't just clicking off the video. We also implemented live view. Everyone should be seeing that now if they have the driver. So if you have the Android device or the iPhone device, how it worked last year was you would see a snapshot or a still frame of the picture, and now you're actually getting the real raw video coming in.
I think that covers most of our or all of the new drivers and recent updates. And of course, if you are interested in seeing these as they come, either follow us on Instagram, Facebook. We post every driver update or new driver release there. You can sign up for our emailing newsletter. Just go to cindev.com and sign up there. And if Driver Central does a really nice job marketing for us, as well as all the other developers on the site. So sign up for their newsletter to see any of the updates coming out.
Yeah, there's a monthly email from Driver Central that lists all the developers, all the updates from all of us. And there's a lot. I think there's over 20 developers now. It might even
there's a lot.
There's a lot.
I've lost count, honestly. Like I think since the Blackwire no longer, I believe they no longer sell drivers on the side, right?
They do not sell third-party drivers.
Yeah.
So they still have their own drivers that they sell, but all the third-party.
Yep. So the developers moved over to us. So since then, that really at least added like another quarter more of developers. So
yeah, and it's really from the dealership point of view, it's been really great because now Driver Central is kind of a one-stop shop for smart home software solutions for your customer. You know,
and we'll include all of these updates and new drivers in the video underneath, but you can also see a little more details on the driver updates if you visit the product pages for every one of these drivers on drivercentral.io.
Yep. And so with that, look forward to more of these types of I guess experiences of how we release stuff and conversations. And we're going to try to do
media we decide to do.
Yeah, we wanted to try out something new, and hopefully you guys like it, and let us know. So with that, this is AJ.
This is Adam.
And we're Syntegration Development, and look forward with working with you guys. So